The conflict between Cricket Australia and the Australian Cricket Association consists of an intense disagreement on how to correctly punish those who tamper with the ball. Another issue the ICC, the International Cricket Council, ran into was how to punish those who knowingly allowed the tampering to occur. The first side of the argument is Cricket Australia. They reacted appropriately by apologizing to fans and announcing the resignation of their captain, Stephen Smith, and the co-captain, David Warner. Further into the investigation, it was discovered that Warner was the one responsible for ball tampering and had shown his other teammate Bancroft. The ICC reacted by punishing Warner and Smith to a 12-month ban from all international and domestic cricket matches, as well as blocking their leadership positions. Bancroft, the other teammate, was subject to a 9-month ban. Although Warner was the only player who actually carried out the ball tampering, Smith was given the same punishment just because he failed to prevent and report it. Cricket Australia is extremely upset over this matter since this could taint their reputation for years. The president of Cricket Australia, Greg Dreyer, spoke out on his disappointment in the harsh penalties. He said that their distressed faces has sent a message across the globe as effective as any sanctions could be. Mr. Dyer hinted that the public humiliation would be enough punishment for the team. The second side to the argument is that Cricket Australia, the Australian Cricket Association, who acts as a union for cricket players, approached the situation by evaluating previous sanctions brought by the International Cricket Council. They believe that Cricket Australia was punished too harshly. The fines ICC charged Bancroft, Smith, and Warner were already large monetary punishments. Furthermore, Cricket Australia announced the resignation of Warner and Smith stepping down from their positions to avoid any future conflict in matches. Cricket Australia did have a reason to be frustrated once you took a look at the previous fines cricket players who were also found guilty ball tampering received. The punishments varied from fines, 1 to 2 to 4 banned matches, as well as penalty points. This shows how Cricket Australia's punishment was incredibly harsh with a combination of hefty fines, long bans, and blocked leadership positions. It is difficult for the Australian Cricket Association to speak out about these fines and have the public support them because of the prestigious and now tainted reputation Cricket Australia has. Cricket Australia is the governing body of cricket in Australia. They are a prestigious team with the most overall wins and best win-to-loss ratio in cricket history. The Australian Cricket Association must support Cricket Australia's mutual interest, representing the common beliefs that Cricket Australia is a team that supports Australia any more than any other team. However, the Australian Cricket Association had to be cautious to act clearly on the previous punishment and not on the outrage of Cricket Australia's well-known pristine reputation. It is crucial for the union to support Cricket Australia so that this does not happen to another team. The Australian Sports Commission, the governing body that oversees and funds the nation's sporting organizations, must ask the ICC to punish the players accordingly. However, it seems like they may have overreacted with the punishment, possibly out of anger and shock. Proper communication would be for the Australian Cricket Association to expose former ball tampering cases to the media so that the public could back them up that they were too harsh of penalties. Arguing facts would get the team a lot further when the public is this angry and upset. As I offer my conflict management services to the situation, I would recommend that the union suggest that the ICC rethink their punishment with the mindset of attacking the problem and not the player. It is also important that the Sports Commission focuses on how this punishment will resonate in the future, since this will ultimately set a precedent on all future ball tampering incidents. The Cricket Australia's culture is also one to be reviewed, and partly to blame because the win-at-all-costs culture could avoid future conflicts, so it will be reviewed. What would be best for Cricket Australia and the Australian Cricket Association would be to rethink of a way for all three players to address the nation and offer their sincerest apologies and publicly support one another. Mr. Dyer, the president of Cricket Australia, didn't seem happy with how the players were forced to address the media right after a tiring match. Respecting each other's differences while also maintaining a level of respect towards one another is crucial to be able for these two sides to come to a resolution. I think that integrative negotiation would benefit both parties best, since they can focus on mutual interest rather than on personal interest. The two teams need to realize that they are both supporting Australia and the integrity of cricket, and come to a conclusion where they can both support one another. Distributed bargaining may lead to more conflict on both sides. I believe that to resolve this conflict, they need a professional third party review the charges according to the previous statutes established. The Australian Cricket Association President Greg Dreyer said that the players had shown absolutely extraordinary contrition throughout their separate press conferences. I believe that Mr. Dyer is doing a great job shining light on how apologetic the cricket players are, so maybe others will feel the same way. Interviewing opposing team members of Cricket Australia, England player Mr. Flintoff and Mr. Swan is something that should be kept to a minimum, since there is conflict of interest with the two opposing teams. The Senator of Australia, Richard Colback, commented, "Bring them all home. I don't want them representing my country." The Australian Prime Minister interviewed called for the strongest action to be taken against Cricket Australia, shows how they were held to another standard, despite the Australian Cricket Association arguing the harsh penalties. This type of publicity would need to be controlled in order for Cricket Australia to be able to recover from this. Powerful figures such as the Senator and the Prime Minister discussing their outrage encourages the public to react in a similar fashion.